A lot of you know that now know that my plan was to step down at the end of last year. I decided in November of 2010 that when I was elected speaker that serving 2 terms would have been plenty. And but in June of last year, when it became clear that the majority leader lost his election, I frankly didn't believe it was right for me to leave at the end of last year. So my goal was to leave at the end of this year. So I planned actually on my birthday, November 17th, to announce that I was leaving at the end of the year. But it's become clear to me that this prolonged leadership turmoil would do irreparable harm to the institution. So this morning I informed my colleagues that I would resign from the speakership and resign from Congress at the end of October.
And we're up.
Well,
on John Boehner.
And John Boehner, I don't care.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm trying to check the feed and I'm having a little trouble. It says the scheduled stream hasn't started yet.
Okay. Can you tell them in the chat room? Because I started the link that we started.
Stand by.
No, it's...
Got no sound or vid. Okay, well.
Did you put... You have a different link in there.
What do you mean I have a different link?
You have a different link. You have VC97 Gem SC8. And the link in here is different.
Crap. Okay. I copied it the way they gave it to me.
Try that one that I just popped in there.
Oh, popped in where?
The chat. Because I have a feeling that link is for last week.
Crap. Yes. All right. So let me go edit, Control C. I don't know why that did that the way it did it, but it did. Sorry, guys. Give me a second to edit the link in Maryland Shooters right there. I really have no idea because I have used this computer since last week, I think. And then I need to make that a link and Control V. Okay. And save. Hopefully that'll save properly. Okay. And what happens when I do that? Yep. Looks like it went. Yep. There we go. Okay. Okay. Well, did you want to start the intro over again?
Sure.
Yeah, we should probably do that because, you know, it's no fun if you don't start from the beginning.
Somebody else. All right. Sorry. I had to send something out to update somebody else that I would like to see the show. So.
Oh, yes.
Here we go. Let's go back to, I believe it is this one. Stand by.
Bolt!
A lot of you know that now know that my plan was to step down at the end of last year. I decided in November of 2010 that when I was elected speaker that serving 2 terms would have been plenty. And but in June of last year, when it became clear that the majority leader lost his election, I frankly didn't believe it was right for me to leave at the end of last year. So my goal was to leave at the end of this year. So I planned actually on my birthday, November 17th, to announce that I was leaving at the end of the year.
We all needed to know his birthday.
But it's become clear to me that this prolonged leadership turmoil would do irreparable harm to the institution. So this morning I informed my colleagues that I would resign from the speakership and resign from Congress at the end of October.
Woo! Sorry, did I say that out loud?
You did.
On John Boehner.
You did.
I just heard the news as I was coming out of the meeting here. So it took me by surprise. And
Okay. So John Boehner's out. That's a very interesting thing. Let me go back to, by the way, there's messages. Now I see you and hear you, beautiful as ever. That one works.
I was going to say, he can't be talking about me.
Chris says, beautiful. Oh, and hi, Andy. So romper, stomper, bomper, boo. I see Applehead, Arcam. Arcam is actually in here twice. You are one talented individual. Ben is with us. Bolts is with us. Chris is with us. Rain is with us. And Skipper Key is with us. So welcome. We're glad to have you. I know there will be others. Yes, buenas noches.
So how is the volume in your headphones this time?
It's good.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Much better.
I'm going to take mine off.
And no static.
Well, that's because I turned off the feed from my computer.
Oh, God.
I don't know. We got to look at that. I got to look at that at some point and try to figure out what's causing that.
Actually, you're right. I don't need that.
We don't have a caller, so.
I know, but it's trashing my hair too. So. It's a thing. It's a thing. Okay, what's going on? Could cripple you?
So I'm a little jealous, Bolt.
Karen!
So the conversation about the crippling was Bolt's just spent an afternoon of sending 100 rounds of 338 Lapua from 600 to 1,850 yards. I'm jealous. He was banging steel from a distance.
Wow. I'd be lucky to, well, no, I could do it with my rifle, but wow.
Well, yeah, 338 Lapua would be a rifle cartridge.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't.
338 Lapua is most commonly known for being one of the favorite sniper rounds.
Oh, I didn't know. So
it's a reach out and touch you round.
I guess. In other news. Okay, in other news. You may or may not have heard. I wish I had more time to keep up on Maryland shooters. Fortunately, Mike has a little more, doesn't have a little more time, but he puts that more towards the top of his list when he does have free time. So he gets to clue me in on what's going on in Maryland shooters. I do peek in. I just don't peek in as often as I'd like to. You might have heard that Baltimore County Executive Kevin Kamenetz and Brian Frosch were on the steps of the courthouse today at 10:30 this morning. Apparently, I guess you have the article there, but apparently, more states need to emulate Maryland's Firearms Safety Act.
Yeah.
Because it working so well in Baltimore.
Well, yeah, I think he's trying to, once again, the favored tactic, right? We blame other people for our own problems. So the city of Baltimore is having rampant issues with violence in general, and there happens to be quite a bit of it that involves shooting. So rather than try to say that we have our own problem to deal with, one of the quotes from the Baltimore Sun article, "We can only do so much," Frosch said at a news conference in Towson. "People can buy guns in our neighboring jurisdictions and bring them across the state lines illegally, and it adds to the violence and deaths that we experience in our state." Well, okay, if somebody's buying a firearm illegally, it doesn't matter where they are. They're committing, what did we determine the last time? Somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 to 13 federal felony violations for doing so.
Yep.
So,
and by the way, apparently not just Kamenetz and Frosch, but Baltimore County Chief of Police James Johnson and Congressman Van Hollen.
And our favorite friend from the Johns Hopkins School, Bloomberg School of Public Health, Professor Daniel Webster.
Oh, yeah. And and wasn't it Mosby that was just calling into question that whole research thing they did on that?
I don't know that she was.
Or was it Bax?
Yeah, it was Mosby that was questioning not that specific research, but the next thing that Daniel Webster wanted.
It's Arcam. It's all those gangbangers going to Pennsylvania and Virginia gun shows and buying guns.
Yep.
That's what it is, boy. You could just see them rolling in. Oh, my. Yeah. Why go out of town when they can go to the corner and buy them in their neighborhood? Perrin, that is exactly the point. And I did not say the F word. He would have called me on it. I did not. Unless it was Frosch. But it wasn't the other. Unless it was the other F word. So, yeah,
once again, though, they lean heavily on Daniel Webster's research, which has been debunked time and time again.
Right.
By multiple sources. I know the one we most commonly frequent, that is most commonly looked at by our community, is John Lott's research debunking it. But there have been other things that have debunked it. Yeah. There's been, even like you did say, Mosby called into question the motivations behind some of the research that Daniel Webster wants to do now that was asking for data and other things on homicide cases, both open and closed. Closed would, and her implication in her responses were the closed ones wouldn't be an issue. They're closed, they're completed, the prosecutions or whatever
Right.
whatever have been done.
Mm-hmm.
But the open ones were, why am I going to give you open evidence in an open criminal case? I can kind of see her point in that one.
Right.
I can kind of see Daniel Webster's point in wanting to research, but
Frosh. It wasn't the F word. It wasn't the F bomb. It was the F word.
But to be honest, I can say this. We talked about this at a meeting somewhere else that we just decided this wasn't worth the time and energy
Right.
to do anything with. There are a couple of quotes in the article from. There's one quote in there from John Jocelyn. There's a quote in there from NRA ILA about it. But it literally. This took me 3 different internet searches of using various combinations of Frosh, Van Hollen, Baltimore, gun rally, and other terms to actually even find it. Just looking on Frosh, Van Hollen, Baltimore, or Frosh, Van Hollen, and Towson didn't bring it up. There's one article on what happened today, besides the presser that they sent out before it. So
Yeah. So, hey, and I gotta. Well, we'll do this, and then I'll get to the bee in my bonnet, which you've already heard enough about tonight, but you're going to hear about some more. So we'll do this. Democratic. This is according to the Washington Times, but written by S.A. Miller. Democratic presidential hopeful and former Maryland governor Martin O'Malley, who has made proposals for tough new gun control laws, a cornerstone of his campaign, because if he does to this nation what he did to this country, what he did to this state, we're all screwed. See, I didn't go there. I was good so far. Hey, we're 12 minutes into the show. In a fundraising email to supporters, O'Malley sounded an alarm about the GOP frontrunners' plan, talking about Donald Trump, by the way, to expand firearm rights, including issuing national concealed carry permits and revoking bans on military-style rifles and high-capacity ammunition clips. Okay. Once again, clip is what you wear in your hair.
unless you're firing an M1.
Unless you're firing an M1. Quote, this is quite honestly reckless and irresponsible, wrote Mr. O'Malley. Well, S.A. Miller or O'Malley, you need to learn a little more about guns because it's not a clip. Anyway, who is mired at 1 or 2% in the polls and struggling for attention from voters. That's because everybody knows he's an idiot. Quote,
except him.
Right. And apparently the people that he's paying to be around him. His proposal is just shameless pandering to the National Rifle Association, one of the most powerful special interest lobbies in the country, he said. The only thing on which we agree is that our country has a problem with gun violence. But unlike Donald Trump, I know that the only way to combat gun violence is by standing up to the NRA and implementing comprehensive gun safety laws. You know, this moron, this guy,
You can call him a moron. I don't think any one of us is going to complain.
Comprehensive gun safety laws in his mind means nobody has one. And then he's going to go after the knives, and then he's going to go after rope, and then he's going to go after kerosene, and then he's going to go after gasoline, and then what?
When's he coming after my laptop power supply on the 6-foot
Right.
cord?
See, there you go.
Or my belt with the heavy steel buckle.
Yeah, see? So, Mr. Trump has said that the focus of fighting gun violence should be on stopping illegal firearms trafficking and getting mentally disturbed people into treatment. That's the first thing I've heard Donald Trump say that I agree, that I absolutely am on board with. Not that I don't, not that I just haven't heard him say a whole lot that was concrete. So, Frosh is all over his page, getting destroyed by all the usual suspects. Fire mission. Oh God. All right. I'm not sicking y'all on him. But if you choose to see the link in the chat room, rock on, babe. All right. So here's my non-2A rant for the week. Apparently.
This is the dinner conversation.
Yeah, more or less. There is a certain legislator, possibly legislators, that would like to see the ability to, so if somebody resigns or dies, it goes to that respective district's central committee
to nominate somebody to be put in front
right,
of the governor.
and they send the name up to the governor. Now,
Who then has the choice of either accepting
no, he does.
it.
Nope.
Thought we
Because
looked this
I
up
just
before.
found, no, wait a minute, hang tight. Remember, you heard me talking about the Court of
Yeah.
Special Appeals? That was the Carroll County case. I wasn't aware there was a Carroll County case.
Neither was I.
Yes, look it up because I got the full skinny on it. So, all right. So just to give you, I know I'm all over the place. So in Carroll County, they sent up 3 names to the governor. The governor picked one. It was Justin Reedy, which makes sense because he was the delegate. So therefore he has more experience in Annapolis than the other 2. But that's my opinion. And I like Justin. So, and I don't know the other 2. They might be perfectly wonderful people, but Justin's got the experience. So, couple people, one of whom I actually know, got together, and I don't know where they got the money, but they sued. They sued the county party, and they moved it out of the regular court. They petitioned to have it moved into the Court of Special Appeals. And at that point, the county's attorney for the Central Committee said, I'm not qualified or whatever to practice law in the Court of Special Appeals. You have to have a frame thingy on your wall special for that.
Mhm.
I think Mike's got one.
Not
And
this Mike. That would be the former delegate.
right. Well, okay.
I'm just clarifying for
Okay,
our audience.
I'm sorry. I looked at you and said Mike and assumed everybody would know I wasn't.
I'm just clarifying.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, but I could be wrong, but he's got some special thing on his wall that entitles him to practice somewhere fabulous. Anyway, $40,000 later cost to the state party because the county party couldn't afford to defend themselves. They win.
So,
And what they said was if I got this correct,
I have the article.
go.
The central committees can send up more. The lawsuit was about the central committee cannot send up more than 1 name,
But they can.
but they can.
But they
It's
can.
at the sole, and according to the Attorney General, Mr. Frosch, the sole discretion for how many names they send is left to the individual central committees. And that's what the court agreed with. And then, once it gets
and the
there,
obligation is
then then it becomes the governor's determination of which one he's going to pick.
right. Okay. So that said, we have a delegate. I want to say he's out of Baltimore County, but I have no idea. Who introduced legislation last year to take this away from the central committees, because there's always infighting. And if you were here when EJ resigned, you remember all of the hell that I went through. And so they want to take it out of the central committee's hands and have special elections. Okay, so pay attention. If this becomes a thing, here is why that is the biggest crock. Okay. In each county and Baltimore City, there is a group of people. They are called the Republican Central Committee or the Democrat Central Committee. Their job is to raise money and get more of their party elected. The only quote unquote power they have is the nomination of, or is the ability to fill vacancies.
Delegate Moon,
No,
General Assembly special election to fill a vacancy in office.
no.
Okay.
It's a Republican whose last name is like this. I can't remember his name. As I said, I've never heard of the guy, but that doesn't mean anything. He's obviously delegate.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
so anyway, so you have all gone and voted. And you voted for Central Committee. If you voted for Hogan and you filled out your entire ballot like good doobies, because romper, stomper, bumper, boo, we fill out our ballots, then you voted for Central Committee members. And they represent the state party in your jurisdiction, your county generally, unless you're listening in Baltimore City. But they represent your party in your county. That's their job. That's what they're elected to do. Raise money get more Republicans elected, and fill vacancies. And filling vacancies rarely happens, except if you live in the 36th district, which in the last 3 years has been, but that's another story. But
Oh, okay. There it was.
okay,
House
so
Bill 806.
okay, so you've got people whose job it is to do this, but you want to take this away from them. Their job is to represent all the Republicans in your county, or the Democrats. All of them, not just the ones they like, but the ones they don't like too. Okay. And apparently some of them don't understand that, but nevertheless, I digress. Why would you want to spend the taxpayers' money to have a special election? Please explain to me how that is efficient. You already have people whose job, you elected them. Just saying, if this comes up, if you hear about it, please have a fit. And feel free to call me, because this is really ticking me off. Special elections are ridiculous, okay? I mean,
So it was even more confusing than that. So there is an appointment of somebody to take the place of, based upon the Central Committee, they shorten the time period down from 30 days to 15 days. But
What?
but it was until shall be deemed the appointment of each person of so appointed by the governor shall be deemed to be for the unexpired term of the person
right,
whose office has become vacant,
right.
or when applicable until the vacancy is filled by a special election. And the timing of said special election,
Because maybe in Baltimore City they have.
well, it's okay. This subsection only applies to a vacancy in the office of a delegate or senator for the General
Oh,
Assembly
in
that
the
occurs by
bill.
January
This is
1st
the bill.
of the year immediately following the year the member takes office. And the special election takes place during the next election, the next statewide primary or general election at which the President of the United States and representative of Congress are elected. So that means it doesn't matter. You're still calling for a special election that only occurs every 4-year period. Which is granted not.
No, it would be
Yeah.
his thinking, if I understand it correctly, is that so statewide, governor, delegate, state senators, they're all elected at once. Central Committee members, they're all elected at once.
Every 4 years, yes.
So if I quit after year one, or I die, or I resign, or hit the lottery and head to Bahamas or
Yes.
something, so then what he's saying is appoint someone until the next election, which would be the presidential election.
Yes.
So somebody would take office for a year.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, that's
No.
what that says.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
If they're elected last year, so the last election,
4-year term.
yes,
I serve a year,
yes,
right? So I serve a year. So that's
Mhm.
12 months. At 24 months is when the election is, the presidential election.
yes.
Okay.
But now,
So
if-
at month 12, I'm out.
potentially,
I've left my seat.
yes,
So what happens between 12 and 24?
an appointment.
That's what I said.
But now what happens now? So that counts for one case. They didn't look at the case of what happens if I resign between year 2 and year 3. I say my term's going to end at the end of year
Then
2.
then according to his bill, then you would serve,
Then the appointment still serves for 2 years.
right? The whole thing's
So
ridiculous.
they didn't think about every potential case. You timed a special election. Now, this is the discussion we were having at dinner with the gentleman that you introduced me to out in the street. That
Who served on the Central Committee with me when we had to replace 3.
so we were talking on the street about the fact that, okay, go special election. Well, A, you are still increasing some costs to the taxpayers because now we have to fund and pay for an election cycle. Granted, it's already being paid for because we have election events going on, but the election event is a presidential election. It is not a statewide election. So now we have to, the special election has to take place, has to involve the state electoral mechanisms,
Right.
which are different than the state's reporting requirements for the federal electoral mechanisms.
Excuse me, Ben, I will take issue with that statement. I will take very strong issue with that
You
statement.
need to tell people what the statement is,
The
because not
statement
everybody's in
is
the
the
room.
Central Committee is nothing more than a social club. If they were doing their job, we'd have someone running for Senate. We actually do. Thank you. Kathy Shalaga is running, And by the way, it is not what you were trying to say is you're talking about the county. Okay. I'm talking about the county. When I talk about Central Committee, I'm talking about the county. When I talk about the party, I'm talking about the state party. You were trying to say the state, and I realize it's semantics for you, but for me, it's important because I was chairman of the county Central Committee and I went through 3 freaking appointments. So, no, he's not. He's the parent. He's not running for Senate. And after all these years, you can't spell Mike Smiegel's name. He's running for Congress. No, they are nothing more than a social club. And you know what? I still don't know who you are. You are still welcome to call me and I will still help you. But let me tell you something, pal. Let's roll. You come do some work with me. Okay. And I'll show you what the Central Committee does. Okay. Because under my leadership, under Diana Waterman's leadership, under Sharon Carrick's leadership, we worked. And the one thing that I learned from Sharon Carrick, who was chair, is a very important tenet. You may not agree with all of them, but you represent all of them. So, and that's what you agreed to when you signed on. So, hi, Tom. Where's Gyro?
Don't know. I've sent him notes.
You tell him I'm offended. This is 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, well,
I think
he's a non-contract employee, by the way.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
For the issue we were talking about earlier, no.
So.
But back to this. A special election is a cost. And granted, according to the fiscal note, it's only an increase of $5,000 in expected expenditures. I kind of doubt that, but still, they didn't cover every particular case. What
really,
happens?
The fiscal note's $5,000.
Let me pull it up again. But if
I
the
believe
constitutional amendment is approved by the voters, general fund expenditures may increase by $5,000.
Go to the chart.
To $10,000 in FY 2020. Didn't include a chart.
Really? Okay.
And it was a proposed constitutional amendment.
Yeah. So Kathy Shalaga is running. I heard that the other day. Mom, I'm sorry, Ben, about your pinched nerve. That really kind of sucks. Cypher. Yeah. Anyway, so please don't pick on the Central Committees because, well, you will get no quarter here because I did the work and I did the work for a long time. Did it for how many years? I can't remember.
I don't know.
4 or 5, and then before that, I was president of the.
I just know the cheering that happened on the day you decided you weren't going to do it anymore. I remember sitting in that chair over there when both you and John said, "Yeah, we're done.
We're done. The election's over." And now I think I'm getting dragged back into politics, kicking and screaming. So anyway, it is a ridiculous. I mean, the people who are on your Central Committee are volunteers. They get no glory. They get nothing. And in most counties, there is never a vacancy to fill because most people don't give up their seat easily. So, yes, Kathy Shalaga, by the way, is running for Senate. And I know I said that twice already. She is pro 2A. There was something else I wanted to tell you about her. Shoot, I forgot. There was a reason I brought it up. I don't know. Give me back my pen and paper. I'll start writing things down again. My memory is shut.
She caught herself.
I did.
I have to give credit where credit's due. She actually did catch herself that time.
So anyway, yeah, a little bit, but I got enough to do. Oh, by the way, back to 2A business. At the board meeting for the Maryland State Rifle and Pistol Association, you all need to come on October 25th to Rolling.
October 25th? It's October 27th.
I think it's 25th.
No, 25th. You're right. I'm wrong.
My God.
I admit that.
I'm shocked. Really. It so seldom happens. I think
Jim, I'm biting my tongue really hard from saying something right now, but
I think I might have to find some champagne and open it. And if Gyra were on here, he'd say the same thing. So it is at Rolling Bridge.
Rolling Road Golf Course.
Rolling Road Golf Course.
October 25th at 2 p.m.
Yes, you can get your tickets at.
MSRPA.org. Click the big link in the center of the page, and I'm putting the link in the chat room for anybody that's interested.
Good. So, and the reason we would like you to come is because we would like you to come and support our organization. The Maryland State Rifle and Pistol Association supports all kinds of shooting, obviously shooting sports. They support a lot of youth programs. A
lot of competitive programs, youth and adult.
Yep. And by the way,
they are the organization that is the chief sponsor and coordinator for the Maryland State Rifle and Pistol teams.
Yes, they're also the state chapter of the NRA,
and the state coordinator for CMP.
And the what?
And I believe one of the board members is also one of the state coordinator for any CMP events.
And so this is October 25th, and they're going to have an election. And in this election, they are going to
elect members to the board.
Yes, Mike Doherty.
That would be myself.
Yes, Mike
well,
Doherty.
One of them.
Mike Doherty is going to be up for election as legislative director.
No.
Yes.
I'm up for election as
legislative
director. As a board member.
Right. Legislative director.
No, that's the second vice president.
No. No. Director, second vice president, separate. I'll explain it to you. So then I'm sitting at the meeting, and I said, all right, Bill, who's our chairman, what else you got? And because I'm going through the list, and I'm thinking, if I need people, I'll go out and recruit them. What do we need? Who do we need? Blah, blah, blah. And he's going through the list. He's going through the list in reverse. And I should have known. I love me some Bill Polk. I truly do. But I should have known I was in for it. And then he pauses. And I said, that's it? You got everything else filled? He goes, well, yeah, there's second vice president, that's you, and there's first vice president, that's you, because he's naming off the nominations that are coming from the nominating committee. I said, hold up there, Haas. What? What? Run that by me
again? This was a fun meeting because this is literally the way she responded.
Oh my God. I was like, what? And I looked over at Greg Nolte, for those of you who have been around and have met him. Greg and I actually went to high school together. He graduated a year behind me. And I said, but, and Greg said, yeah, I know why, but Greg's out for personal reasons, not because he doesn't love the two-way movement, but just he's got too much going on. So, and I looked at Bill and I went, so when were you going to tell me? And he goes,
just did.
That's what he said. And after the meeting, I called him on it because hi. And I said, I just talked to you like last week. And he said, well, yeah, I talked to you about this. I said, no, you asked me if I would, if I could still be involved in the legislation. And I said, yes, I simply cannot be a lobbyist because, you can't lobby against your boss, and nor would I want to lobby against my boss. And so hence Mike Doherty. And I said, but the words vice president, second, or, executive board never entered the discussion. Oh. So I've been nominated for second vice president MSRPA. So please.
If you are a member,
you don't have to be a member.
To vote, you do.
But yes, if you're not a member, you should be.
If you're not a member, you're welcome.
Yes.
And you can also join to be a member there.
Yes. And you can come play with us.
Or you can join through the website, msrpa.org.
Yep. And it's not expensive. So.
No, there's for a variety of different mechanisms to pay.
Yes, press inquiries, Andy Maroney. Yes, that would be me. Oh, I guess what happened to Cypher?
Don't know.
Oh, I guess we bored him. So anyway, note to self, don't cast aspersion on Andy's activities. Darn right. Darn tootin'.
And so on that note, since we will probably shift gears out of that,
but October 25th, be there, be square.
So there are times when we do discuss things We didn't do this at the beginning because we had tech difficulties. The opinions that we express on the show are our opinions unless we specifically say otherwise. The proceeding obviously was in our functions as members of the
Right.
board of MSRPA,
Yes.
or soon to be members of the board in my case, but as the lobbyist for MSRPA, I'll say, since I can legitimately say
And
that's
the
what I am
current
right
legislative director.
now. Yes, that's you.
Yes, for now. For now, you're about to be. So, unless they storm the place, buy up a whole bunch of memberships, and but anyway, but it'll be good because you'll be the director, and I'll veep you. It'll be fine. I am a fast learner. I is okay then. Oh, good. Cypher is back. Okay, good. So anyway, the 25th, please come and play. I think Shannon will be there actually, or at least she's planning on it, unless something blows up. And she's busy. So you do not have to be a member of the MSRPA, but gee, I'd love it if you join and support us.
You don't have to be a member of the MSRPA to attend the annual meeting.
Nope.
I will not.
David Keene speaking.
I was just going to say I won't announce who the special guest was. You would have to come and find out.
But then they would
Because
be
it's
like,
not publicly announced.
well, he's let's put it this way, he's supposed to be there.
No, I know that, but it is not publicly announced on the page.
That's not my
No,
fault.
actually it is. I'm sorry. It's special guest David Keene, past president of the NRA.
Yeah. So anyway, David Keene will be there. The inimitable birthday girl will be there. Shannon just had her birthday on Monday. And I heard the girls made a great big banner and hung it across the door. Yeah. So anyway, October 25th, 2:00, rolling, whatever it is.
Rolling Road Golf Course, Catonsville, Maryland.
Yeah. So I have to find my way out there again. Yes. So now that we've done that, write it down. If you haven't written it down yet, write it down now. And yes, you can bring your children, Perrin. Waffle House. Skipper Key, pay attention. For questions about particular firearms, please contact the firearms manufacturer. Yes, Rayman. Rolling Road Country Club is a very nice place. Food is not bad either. So a soldier with the National Guard was told to leave his gun outside or take his business elsewhere Sunday morning at a Kentucky Waffle House. Bill Welch said he was in his National Guard uniform, Army National Guard, and had his gun holstered to his side when he walked into a Waffle House in Nicholasville for breakfast. After ordering his food, Mr. Welch said a waitress signaled for him to come speak to her, a local NBC affiliate reported. Quote, I got up and I walked over to them and asked them how they were doing and stuff, and they said, I have to take my firearm outside, he told the station. Quote, I don't feel comfortable taking my firearm away from me. I always keep it with me. And they said, it's one of our policies, end quote. By the way, this was in the Washington Times, written by Jessica Chasmar. Mr. Welch said he didn't make a big fuss. He said, if I can't have my firearm, then I can't be here. He said, I walked inside to the other waitress. I said, thank you, but no thank you, ma'am. I'm going to have to leave. Mr. Welch started hearing from people and organizations all over the country after a witness sitting in a booth nearby described the interaction on Facebook, NBC reported. Quote, I have a bunch of family members and friends who've been active military and in the military and retired, and it hurts my feelings when people would disrespect them, said Michaela Shaw, whose posts about the encounter went viral. I just wanted to stand up for him. The owner of the Nicholasville Waffle House said in a statement, quote, for many years, we've had a no firearms policy in place in our restaurants. We are well aware that different people and businesses have varying opinions regarding this issue, and we respect the right of all to have different opinions. However, we continue to believe this is the best policy for the safety of our customers and associates. Well, I can think of about 12 people that will never eat at a Waffle House again.
Right. So I pulled up another one on this story just because I like to do that as the producer.
Okay.
Update from another news source. Update September 30th, 11:15. Ray Daniels, the owner of the Waffle House franchise in question, has released an updated statement. Quote, unfortunately, we have been besieged with a misrepresentation of the facts regarding the incident with the National Guardsman, Mr. Welch, at one of Lexi Dan Foods Waffle House establishments. The facts are simple. We do have a policy posted on our Waffle House franchise building stating our policy in permitting firearms in our buildings. We normally are very loose on how we enforce that policy in terms of the military. However, on this particular incident, 2 facts have not been reported accurately that facilitated the situation with Mr. Welch. First, he was an active participant in a fight on the premises several weeks prior to September 27th. He was restrained and taken off the premises by off-duty police officers that were eating in the restaurant at the time. The second item not reported accurately was the time the most recent incident occurred, 2 a.m. We have associates who have to make snap decisions on our third shifts to provide for their own safety and the safety of our customers. Our associates decided because of Mr. Welch's recent altercation, which they witnessed, it was in their best interest at 2 a.m. to ask Mr. Welch to leave his firearm in his vehicle. Mr. Welch decided to leave. We still tried to garner his business at that point. I am supportive of my team's decision. I was not there and will not judge their decision-making after the fact. If this incident occurred at 10 a.m. in the morning and Mr. Welch had not been involved in a previous fight, I'm sure the outcome would have been different. I feel Lex 18 did not do, I'm assuming that's Lexington Channel 18, did not do due diligence in their reporting. We are highly supportive of all our military branches and especially supportive of our veterans.
But
I
you
hope this
can't bring a
provides some
gun.
clarification on the matter. Thank you for taking the time to read this and understanding. Yes, so apparently, and Waffle Houses are franchises. They are, and franchises, obviously, anybody who's ever done research on franchise establishments, they have certain leeway in what rules they can choose to apply or not apply at their particular
Right.
location. I don't know if Waffle House's corporate standard or corporate franchise standard is on firearms positions, but this particular chain, this particular franchise chain has said they don't want firearms in their buildings.
You know what? The fact of the matter is now they're trying to muddy the issue with a fight that he may or may not have been the victim on. Okay. And I'm not saying, whatever. Okay. And several weeks, define several weeks.
Exactly.
2,
Don't know.
10, 15, I don't know. So they're just trying to muddy the issue. And the fact of the matter is the man was in uniform. Okay. The man was in uniform. So once you're in that uniform, you are held to a higher standard. He didn't cause a problem. He wasn't causing a problem. He was in uniform. He chose to leave, 2 a.m. or not 2 a.m. The man was in uniform. Okay. I'm just saying. So if so, it's just as bad. What? Yeah. I know. It sounds like Waffle Houses. It sounds like everybody's cherry picking, but I'm not going to get into what happened several weeks ago because, he got into a fight. Well, was it a shoving match? Was it, I don't know. They decided not to tell us. We're not worthy of knowing. So here's what I know. He's in uniform. He's not allowed to carry a gun in their establishment. They're not going to get my business. It's really that simple. Okay. Because if you're in uniform in this day and age, you should be carrying your gun.
I've had some interesting conversations about that, actually, but I'm not going to have those on the air.
Okay.
So real quick, callback.
Okay.
So we had an article that we discussed last week about the Nassau County District Attorney's Office in Nassau County, New York,
Right.
having a policy. Well, guess what? Eugene Volokh has an update on that from the Washington Post Volokh Conspiracy. Dateline today at 2:44. Nassau County DA rescinds ban on prosecutors owning and possessing handguns. I'm delighted, quote from the article, I'm delighted to report that the policy has just been changed. Here's the memo that the Nassau County DA's office just sent out with a cover email saying that this is our office's updated policy on handguns for attorneys, which is effective immediately. To Madeline Singas, Acting District Attorney, from Albert Teachman, Chief Assistant District Attorney, RE Handgun Ownership by Assistant District Attorneys. You requested a review of the Nassau County District Attorney's Office policy established in 2006, restricting handgun ownership by Assistant District Attorneys. Let's see. They just in 2006 they established a policy to prohibit things. It was established to absolutely avoid the dangers posed by armed, uninformed, ununiformed lawyers working in charged situations like crime scenes with other law enforcement without proper firearms training to prevent friendly fire tragedies like those that occurred in recent years in Nassau County and neighboring jurisdictions. I have a question. If it was proposed for that particular reason, why did you ban them owning them in their home? Okay. But regardless, long story short, they have upon the analysis is upon review, public safety interests served by the policy can be substantially effectuated through a less restrictive means that does not preclude ADAs from owning handguns, but strictly prohibits work-related possession and use. So they can own them now. They just can't bring them into work.
No, of course not. Because
Anytime they are strictly prohibited from carrying or possessing a weapon anytime they are working, including but not limited to work in the DA's office, courthouses, crime scenes, witness interviews, meetings with other agencies, without the express written permission of the district attorney or the district attorney's authorized designee. Any assistant DA who owns a handgun must supply a copy of all licensure and registration documentation to the DA's office. Violations of this policy may result in termination.
Uh-huh.
So they've partially changed their stance on whether their people can actually just own guns. Now you just can't take it out of your house.
Right.
But it's progress. I have to say that. It is progress.
The National Weather Center has me a little concerned.
Oh, would this be one of the other articles we were going to talk about today?
Yeah. So Hurricane Joaquin forms near the Bahamas, and we picked that up out of the AP. Actually, the Washington Times picked it up out of the AP. It is definitely a hurricane. And this photo was just posted 8 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago.
Yes, and the storm tracks still haven't been ironed out.
No, I know, but if it goes the way they're currently projecting,
Coming right up the bay.
yep. So we're gonna get it bad here. So the only question is really when it's gonna hit, because if it hits while I'm in Baltimore getting home, I'm stuck.
Well,
Because
this
the
is
island will be underwater.
expected-
The island will be totally underwater.
Oh, this is expected Sunday through Monday.
I mean, not that I'm looking forward to being hit by a hurricane because of the damage that it will cost and cause, but I would, if it's going to hit and it's going to do it, I would prefer it do it when I can be with my family.
So the expectation right now is that it makes landfall, looks like Sunday afternoon in the Outer Banks, and then comes up the bay Monday.
That's not good.
So Sunday night into Monday. So you would probably still be home and you would not be making it to the office. You would be going wherever you're going to evacuate to.
We don't evacuate here. We're too far inland. Now, where the Citgo is in the middle of
Mhm.
230. Okay,
That'll be underwater.
that'll be underwater, but we won't be. The last time we had a hurricane come through, and it wasn't the really bad one, but and I can't remember their names, but it was like flooded all the way around Centerville, but we were fine. So yeah, so it's really what we suffer here is wind damage because of the farmland and stuff like that. So that's what's bad for us. However, if I'm at work and this comes down like it does, and they don't let us go, I won't get to go home. I will be packing a bag and sleeping in my office, because if it's like it was, what was the last major hurricane we had?
I don't remember.
Ah.
The one that hit the coast was Isabel, but
It must have been Isabel.
that was Isabel. I'm sorry, Sandy as well. Sandy hit New Jersey and New York.
No, for us it was Isabel, I think. But anyway, but it yes, I said hurricane.
Yes, Joaquin is officially a hurricane at this point.
Yes, and most of Kent Island was underwater. But if you go to
And yes, Per and I have the same concern, and I live in Ellicott City. But yeah, it's time to go out and test the gen set again just to make sure I've got fuel and everything else.
oh, is that what that is? I wonder what a gen set was.
Generator.
Yes, I will definitely stock up on the booze. That's for sure.
So for those that are
it's not
interested in the
Agnes.
chat
Oh,
room,
for heaven's sakes, it's not Agnes.
for those that are in the chat room and want to see it there, I just posted the link to the National Weather Service public advisory as of 8 p.m.
But Mount Holly is on Facebook, and they do a good job of posting. I think you can even go to their website and subscribe, and they'll send you the stuff. But
You can also go to AccuWeather, WeatherBug, Justin Burke's or Justin Weather.
yeah, but they don't give you the actual slides from NOAA, and I can get those. So if anybody really wants them, they have to
There's
does-
RSS feeds too from Noah's got an RSS feed.
Where does Dan live? You may be able to crash on his couch. He lives in College Park. I don't think I could get there either. So anyway, but the last time with Isabel, I saw that. With Isabel, it was bad. In Harris Crab House, when you walk up the steps to go into their restaurant, they show you where the high water mark is, and you don't really appreciate how much of the island was underwater until you see this mark on, and it's like on the fifth or sixth step going up. It's pretty incredible. So, hell with it. Hurricane party in Ocean City Sunday night. No! Doobie doo. Very nice, Perrin. Very nice. So anyway, did Cypher bail on us again? Boy, we must be boring the hell out of him. Well, life stuff. In other news, I got to go through my iPhone to see. Apparently, the new iPhone
Six. iOS 9, actually.
Actually,
it should apply to all of them.
It's the iOS 9, which I just updated to. Defaults. The default setting is has the potential to eat up data before the user realizes it. If you've upgraded to iOS 9, there's something called Wi-Fi Assist. And so if your Wi-Fi is slower than your data plan, it will switch you to the data plan. Now, if you have what do you call it? Unlimited data. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired.
If you're in a grandfather policy with unlimited data, be prepared for being downgraded in speed.
So,
but if you don't, be prepared for lots of charges.
Right. So, but you can turn it off. So this is not a big deal. And WTOP carried this article. It's by Nick Iannelli. That's not going to help you. But if you go to WTOP and look up iPhone feature, you can find it. But users can find the feature by going to, apparently, there we go. You are supposed to be able to go to settings and then cellular. I don't see it. Hold on.
You may not be on iOS 9.
I am on iOS 9. I just upgraded it.
Okay, just
it's called Wi-Fi Assist, and it's not here.
Real quick callback. Governor McAuliffe just declared Virginia a state of emergency.
For the hurricane?
Yep.
Okay. Aha! Here's where it is. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, so you go to, so if you upgraded your phone, which you should have, because they've got things on there that'll save some of your battery. You go to settings and then cellular. And then when you go to cellular, just scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and look for Wi-Fi Assist. I just did it. So, and that's all she wrote. So it's really that simple, but now you know what to do about it. So I love me my Apple products, but no product is perfect.
Yeah, I like my crackberry.
Whatever. House passes funding bill averting government shutdown.
The House did?
Dude, it's your article. What does that say? What does that say?
Huh.
What does it say?
Well, so this is an update to the link that I sent you. Because I sent you the links hours before that. And the links hours before that had not had that. At 5:09, I did not send you any links at 5 o'clock.
True.
So they updated it. When I
Guess
sent you
what?
that
The
link,
House passed a funding bill.
fantastic. So we get what? 10 more weeks of funding before we have to worry about this crap all over again?
Essentially. So go to work.
Yes, I already sent an email to all of my guys. They better be at work tomorrow. I'm going to be ticked.
Yes, they still make crackberries, and he insists on using one. I have no idea why. He claims it's for work, but I don't know.
They still make crackberries. There's mine right there.
He claims it's for work, but I know too many companies that don't require them.
I'm not allowed to be in the building with it, but yes, it is for work, and I do use it for email quite a bit when I'm not at work.
There are other alternatives to crackberry, though.
Yes, but none of them have a physical keyboard.
Okay. I can't argue with that. I got nothing. So, hey, we cover it all, okay? We are your 2A. We cover your 2A needs and then some, okay? We cover it all on this show. Besides, you guys have been listening for a long time. You know we talk about other stuff. But we will go back to 2A stuff. How do you say her last name?
Lash.
She's a cute girl. I figured he'd know. Dana Lash turns to FBI after fake NRA ad depicts her bloody gun death. This is by Jessica Chasmar, again, but at the Washington Times. Conservative talk radio host and gun rights advocate Dana Lash says she has reached out to the FBI after an internet troll and edited a promotional video she recently did for the NRA to depict her bloody gun death. Twitter user @Tom Adelsbach, or Adelsbach, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, who describes himself as, quote, graphic artist, website designer, flash animator from Chicago, edited the video to show Ms. Lash shooting herself in the head. His now deleted post read, quote, Dana Lash's new promotional video for the Pound NRA backfires on her, a local Fox affiliate reported. Ms. Lash tweeted the video to her 304,000 followers. Great. Now anti-gun Pound Moms Demand fans are making videos threatening to kill me. Ms. Lash said she contacted the FBI and has had the video removed from Twitter. I have contacted the FBI. She said, I will keep you updated and I'm going to pursue this to the fullest extent, she tweeted. And every hate tweet that I receive, I'm going to donate to the NRA and that person's name and buy myself another box of ammo, she added. Talking Points memo reported. Ms. Lash started Sunday with a donation in the name of the troll who posted the grisly video of her. Remington Arms, America's oldest gun maker, tweeted its support. We're following your story. Video buzz. Beyond creepy. If you need a new concealed carry piece, message us. Pound 2A, pound live ready. It is unclear why Ms. Lash initially invoked why Ms. Lash initially invoked Pound Moms Demand, a frequently used hashtag to reference pro-gun control organization Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America, the Huffington Post reported. Mr. Adelsbach original post made no mention of the organization, which was quick to condemn the edited video. Quote, we had no part in making this video and we vehemently oppose its message, Kate Fulmar from Moms Demand Action. Deputy Communications Director told the Post, we're focused on saving lives and do not condone any kind of activity, including this video that makes light of gun violence in America. In a blog post Monday, Ms. Lash blamed Moms Demand for refusing to condemn their supporters for threatening violence over the Second Amendment. Quote, violence is apparently silently endorsed and from my experience shared by anti-gun groups like Moms Demand and their parent organization, Everytown, she wrote. I am sure we will be seeing that again. I'm done. It's your turn.
I don't know. I didn't get a chance to read a lot of these this week.
Not my fault.
No, I'm trying to get a contract renewed.
No.
I'm trying to make sure that my
Red
team has
iPhone.
work.
What do we? iPhone equals prosperity. Okay.
What are you reading?
I'm reading the chat room. Okay, now somebody's calling me. Oh God. All right. Can you
iPhone yesterday's technology
can you-
and tomorrow's
Can you
prices?
tread water? Can you tread water?
Yeah, for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Are we?
Hey.
I only have a couple.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey.
So speaking of work,
Good.
so since I have to fill time here, let's see. Chalk up another education to MDS. I did not know who she was until I saw the thread about her today. All right. So yeah, Dana Lash has been in the news a couple of times over the past few months for things like this. So a couple of things that she threw on my pile from the links that I sent her. One of the articles that I saw from the past couple of days from the Washington Times, Dateline September 14th, and Jolly Shastri. Millennials love guns as shooting sports rapidly gain popularity in high schools. Yes, it is 9 o'clock. One of the reasons that I saw this one, I saw the article as some stuff that I was looking around through So putting my MSRPA hat back on, one of the things that MSRPA loves to help promote is youth shooting sports. We do have some folks that are going to be receiving some awards at the MSRPA annual meeting. This is kind of near and dear to me. I come from a military family. My dad's a retired officer from one of the branches, and I wasn't introduced to firearms at home. I was introduced to firearms when I joined in the Naval Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps at the high school that I graduated from. I was told by my father that I had to do some form of extracurricular activity in the sports realm. I wasn't really interested in football and in some of the others. Had kind of gotten out of the baseball thing from my youth, so wasn't the best of baseball player. And the ROTC unit had a rifle team, and I said, cool, can I try that? Parents said yes, and I went and started to get some things there, and so one of the things that this is near and dear to me from when I see that shooting sports are back again gaining popularity. Shortly after I left the ROTC programs, I graduated in the late 80s. The ROTC programs transitioned away from firearms specifically, as in actual ammunition components using an explosive matrix, to air rifle and air pistol events. Not dissing those sports at all. They're still wonderful sports. I have a nephew and niece that are heavily involved in that down in Florida as well. But as I said, the main thing for bringing it up was just because it goes to show that our younger generations are looking up and looking at it, and hopefully we'll keep going with it. And hopefully we all do our parts to make sure that we're trying to get the youth involved and educated. And one of the stances I've taken with folks throughout the years is the earlier we teach kids responsible firearm safety and responsible firearms processes, the earlier we demystify things, we make them out to be not guns, not toys. We make them out to be tools that are useful and that can be fun, but that are implements that we have to respect. We would go a long way if we educated our kids a little bit better, I think, as an overall. I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir on that one, but two more. Interesting one that I saw from NRA ILA, and I didn't get a chance to read through this one completely. Dateline is Friday, September 25th. From Gallup, more Americans say federal government a threat. So one of the things that we've seen in here is a constant thing where a lot of us have the stance the Second Amendment protects all the others. Gallup apparently recently did a poll that there's more and more data about that shows that adherents of both parties are more threatened, quote from the article. However, Gallup's polls show that adherents of both parties are more threatened by the government power under Obama than they were during the Bush administration. Comparing responses from the two parties by averaging the results of the 4 polls taken during each administration shows that Democrats are 4 points more suspicious of government under Obama than Republicans were under Bush. The poll also shows that overall, Republicans are more threatened by government under Obama than Democrats were under Bush. But make no mistake, anyway you break down the numbers, a growing number of people of all political persuasions see the Obama administration as a threat to our freedoms. So we all have a responsibility as voters, as citizens, to keep our government honest. It's our job to get involved. I got involved in this fight for 2A specifically a few years ago, and have taken a more public stance on how I fit on things and where I feel things should be and how I interact. And I appreciate everything. And I think, and I can say this for Andy too, we all appreciate all of us that get involved with it and help go forward. Welcome back.
Thanks. Sorry.
All right. So catching up real quick before the last one. If anyone's in Southern Maryland, this is from Perrin. Perrin runs the junior rifle program at St. Charles Sportsman's Club. It's a free program with everything provided for kids 6 to 18 years of age. Fantastic. The program that I got involved in back in high school was the same way. The ROTC program picked up everything, all of our entry fees. They provided the rifles. They provided the ammunition. They paid the rental fees at the range. They paid our entry fees to matches, all that stuff. Personally, I think, like I said, anything that has the youth involved, gets the youth engaged, and shows them respect, and it helps to teach them respect in many other ways by learning to respect something and knowing that they can control what is inherently a dangerous instrument, a dangerous tool.
Yep.
Now, Chris, I could actually defend her. She did actually show me who was on the phone, so I can
No,
say
it was
that
my
was
boss.
that was legitimately
Not
her
the
boss.
big boss,
but-
but the next big boss.
But Chris says you should pee before the show.
I see that. Yes. Yes. Thank you. No. Legit.
So,
legit. I don't
Ben-
turn down her call.
Ben, actually, some of the stuff that's covered in that NRA ILA article. So Ben says there was a good article stated children in shooting programs, their grades improved and they were more focused in school. The NRA ILA's article on that, I'm sorry, was it NRA ILA? No, I'm sorry, it was Washington Times. It does actually mention the fact that the kids are more involved, more engaged, that kind of thing. Last one that I have, Dateline Washington Times, September 29th by Jeff Fuller. Arming military personnel will deter terrorists. I don't think I even need to read this article. Current DoD policy. Our service members on board a military installation are not permitted to carry firearms except in the performance of official duties and training. So, yeah, you go up to, with the exception of Marine Corps Base Quantico, every U.S. military installation that I have been to in the National Capital Region, up through and including, and I know Aberdeen is not part of it, but going through even Aberdeen Proving Grounds, you go through the gate. The gate is contracted Federal Protective Service officers. So contract police officers manning the gate. Occasionally at some of them, you'll have a uniformed service member with them, but the uniformed service members are not the primary respondents. Marine Corps Base Quantico is still primarily manned by Marines, but with a contract backup. But those are the only folks on the base that you will see, members of the provost marshal units that are carrying firearms on a regular basis. After the events in Chattanooga, there's been discussions about different
Dan!
things.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Wow, he joined.
I know. It's about time.
So, yeah. So I am former military. We weren't allowed to carry when I was in. Yeah, and it was the arduous process. I think my rifle was actually dirtier when I was in the Marine Corps than it ever was. And surprisingly, I only shot the rifle once when I was in the Marine Corps. But damn, that thing was dirty. The armorers had a lot of fun. But yeah, so articles like that. Well, no, duh. Arming our people would stop terrorist attacks.
Yeah. Gee.
Let's see. I'm sorry, but I completely disagree with the current administration stance that the Fort Hood shooting by Major Hassan was not a terrorist event. And I also completely disagree with their conjecture that nothing would have happened if anybody else was carrying. If somebody else had been carrying in the center where he started shooting, I'm pretty sure somebody would have eventually taken him out. And he probably wouldn't have been able to get as far through as he did.
Yeah.
And they probably would have saved us some money with having to house the son of a bitch in a military prison.
Pretty much.
So that's all I had in my stack as well. So I don't know if you have anything else you
I'm
wanted
done.
to discuss.
I am done. October 25th, be there, be square. And Perrin's got his stuff going on. Did he give us a date for that? Or is it just every Sunday or something?
What?
His program. He runs
He didn't say when it was. Perrin, if you've got more information you want us to share, then let us know.
That'd be good.
But yeah, what he mentioned was he runs the junior rifle program at St. Charles Sportsman's Club. So I'm sure if you go out to the web and look at St. John's Sportsman's Club or get in touch with Perrin on shooters.
I'm scrolling. I'm looking up. Okay, so I got the red iPhone, green Android, blah, blah, blah. Perrin, not nice. Can't read that on the air. Chris, you just now noticed I have red hair. Where have you been, love? Oh, you are a mess.
Okay. Applehead did bring up HPRB meeting October 6th, next
There
Tuesday.
you go. Oh, that'd be next week.
Yep, 6 p.m., normal place.
First Sunday of each month at 1 p.m. in Charles County for the junior rifle program. So if you miss this information, then you can't find it elsewhere. Grab me, grab Mike on Facebook. Or, of course, you can always call me at 410-490-2734. And that's about it. Dan, I'm assuming if you had anything you wanted us to cover, you'd already said. So, he's a little late to the party. He's in my doghouse. So, he's not speaking to me. Okay, fine. Okay. He posts things on my Facebook page that have been there for days, but doesn't actually speak to me. And then I ping him and say, you have to listen to the show because I can see that he's online. Yes, I am going to give him grief until he answers me. And if that means I have to get him on the phone, I will. So he can just get over it.
He may also be looking at the old link. So don't know. Maybe. Don't know whether he's viewing or not. I don't have any way to see if they're viewing.
I don't either. Well, I mean, I guess I would, but doobie doo. Oh, very nice. Very nice. No, he can't be looking at the old link because I edited it. I only put it in one place.
Yeah, but if he'd already seen it.
Well, then he'd be going,
anyhow.
What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this picture?
You still going to harangue him some more?
Mercilessly. Mercilessly. He's not speaking to me. He's just posting random crap to my page that have already been posted. As if. Hey, I got more geese than you did last year, pal. Okay?
I can't comment. I don't hunt. So
neither does he.
Sorry, my
Oh, now he speaks. Now he speaks. Right. But you could answer your instant messages. You could, I don't know, say hello. Anyway, it's okay. I just had to give him grief because, I instant messaged him. I commented on his post. Nothing. And you know how much I like to be ignored.
Huh?
Yeah. And on that note, we will bid you good night. Dan, it was nice to see you. Even if you are grumpy cat. Quite possible because I haven't gone clay shootings in over a year since that picture of Julia and Shannon and I.
Oh, when's Sadie Hawkins Day? Because we're supposed to go to that, according to somebody else.
What's Sadie? What? What are we going to?
There's a shoot.
Oh, they taste great steamed. Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, November the weekend nearest to November 13th. There's a trap shoot at AGC.
Of course, it's at AGC.
Because I keep getting picked on every time I mention around a certain legislative vice president that
I am not the legislative vice president. Not until the 25th.
No, every time I mention around a certain legislative vice president that I have never fired a shotgun, he reminds me.
Greg.
No.
Oh, the other one, the other organization.
So.
Okay, well, we're going to fix that. And I will clean my shotgun just for you because it's got the special recoil blah 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 technology in it.
I have to take care of this first.
Can you shoot a rifle?
I don't. The last time
like a 243 or a 257.
The last time I shot my 5.56, I shot 100 rounds, and when I got done, I went, okay. So let's turn. My arm will not turn, so I can't turn the firearm to put it on safe.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be shooting 100 rounds. That's a promise. So, no, we're not shooting 100 rounds.
No, I have no idea. I at this point, I don't know how I have not fired There's a reason why I have not fired my Grand. It is still sitting in my house in its case. I still need to friggin' tongue oil the stocks too. But no, I haven't fired my AR and I haven't fired my M1. I haven't fired my M1 at all, and I haven't fired my AR in months. So,
Well, let me just put it to you this way. A normal hunting rifle, I don't know because I have not shot an M1 or an AR. Well, no, I didn't actually shoot his heavy barrel, so it doesn't count. What?
what are you
Whatever.
looking at?
I don't even know what they're talking about.
Dan and Perrin are talking about going clay shooting.
Oh, so anyway, but if you can take, because really a round of clays is 25, and you only get one shell for each clay, so you're not even close. And the recoil on my AX, my Beretta, is less than it is on my 243.
Okay.
Like, no kidding. So it's like this. It literally is like this.
Okay.
So we're going to get you shooting shotguns soon. Yes, we saw that, Bolt. We saw. You saw it. You shot 100 rounds of 338 Lapua last Wednesday. I am very happy for you. You get on with your bad Alabama self.
And Rain Man, I've got a couple of other guys that are standing in line in front of you that keep getting mad at me because I haven't gone to the range and shot it. Because both of their stance is, I want to shoot it, but I'm not going to shoot it until you shoot it.
Why?
Because it's mine and I haven't shot it yet.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that. All right, I think we're done here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
going to let the other woman that hasn't come on the show in a while take us out.
The Glock song.
I don't have anything else at the moment. I got to find some more
You
stuff.
got to find something else.
I got to have time.
Well, you'll have more time now. It won't be quite so crazy.
I'm still going through. I'm still worried about whether I have a job in 10 days.
You have all weekend.
I'm still trying to figure out whether I have a job in 10 days.
You have all weekend to sit around and eat bonbons and watch
Oh,
your
yes,
soaps.
because there's nothing like a
Nothing
scouting
to do,
group. No,
right.
not at all.
Right.
Okay. why
Right.
is it not
See,
working?
Mike whining about 100 rounds of 233 and a 12 gauge is nothing to a
Hammers back in
338.
the
I
safety
guess
zone.
I'm going to have to
unless
play it
it's
again
a
because I think
Glock.
you just talked over top of her.
No, I'm
Because we don't have our headphones on, so we didn't hear.
Whoops.
Good night, folks.
Night,
Hammers
everybody.
back in the safety zone. Safety zone. Safety zone. Hammers back in the safety zone unless it's a Glock.